Maria-Teresa, the Duchess of Luxembourg, rose to prominence in the Luxembourg ducal family through her marriage to the heir to the throne. However, her journey to the top was far from calm and peaceful. In addition to a major reputational crisis a few years ago, she had to endure the heartbreaking loss of her two brothers. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to receive latest videos from us. As a European queen of Cuban descent, Maria-Teresa faced numerous challenges on her path to wearing the tiara. The primary cause of her misfortunes, spanning several decades, was her mother-in-law, the former Grand Duchess Josephine Charlotte. The strained relationship between Josephine Charlotte, daughter of a Belgian monarch, and Maria-Teresa, a wealthy Cuban with no royal lineage, marred the lives of the entire Luxembourg royal family, including the Principality's patriarch, Grand Duke John of Luxembourg. Pleasing Josephine Charlotte proved to be a difficult task. Born into a Belgian royal family, she was the daughter of King Leopold III and Princess Astrid. Her childhood and youth were marked by the premature death of her mother and her father's abdication. When the possibility of marrying her off to the heir of a neighboring country's throne arose, the Belgian princess accepted. However, no one could have predicted that John of Luxembourg and Josephine Charlotte would become one of the most passionate couples in European royal history. They had 5 children and a marriage that withstood criticism and crises until Maria-Teresa entered the picture. Maria-Teresa came from a wealthy Cuban family. Her father, a banker, left the country when she was just 3 years old. Despite having a secure financial background that allowed her to study political science in Geneva alongside Prince Henri, the heir to the Luxembourg throne, the origin of the young Cuban girl became a subject of criticism from her mother-in-law. No matter how hard Maria-Teresa tried, Josephine Charlotte could not be convinced that she was a suitable match for her son. On Valentine's Day 1981, Maria-Teresa and her son married in St. Mary's Cathedral in Luxembourg, while her mother-in-law spent the day in tears. The rumors of a strained relationship between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law gradually gained momentum, especially after the appearance of Princess Tessie, daughter of Princess Astrid and granddaughter of Infanta Beatrix of Bourbon and Battenberg, who married Prince Louis of Luxembourg in 1994. A comparison of how the Grand Duchess treated Tessie and Maria-Teresa speaks volumes. It was clear how she acted as an attentive mother-in-law to Tessie, even lending her an umbrella in the rain, while treating Maria-Teresa carelessly. To make matters worse, Maria-Teresa gave her 5 grandchildren and eventually became the heir to the title of Grand Duchess. In the 2000s, Maria-Teresa's revenge was served cold. In a calculated move, she organized an informal dinner with 15 editors from various newspapers. During this meeting, which was carefully chosen for the occasion, Maria-Teresa cried for an hour and a half in front of the journalists, revealing the worst aspects of her relationship with her mother-in-law. She exposed every rejection, hurtful nickname, and reproach she had endured. Josephine Charlotte was portrayed as a class-conscious woman who consistently humiliated her daughter-in-law. Maria-Teresa even revealed that her mother-in-law had attempted to break up her marriage to her son and spread rumors of an affair with one of the ministers in the government. To add weight to her words, Josephine Charlotte had been caught saying that both her son and daughter-in-law were fools and incapable of intelligent conversation. This public declaration of enmity became a headline in many magazines, marking the first royal scandal in the history of the Luxembourg royal family and surprising the Grimaldis and the Windsors. Unfortunately, the relationship between Maria-Teresa and Josephine Charlotte never recovered. Josephine Charlotte passed away in 2005, and her daughter-in-law never mentioned her in public again. The story of Maria-Teresa, Duchess of Luxembourg, serves as an example of how personal conflicts and family dramas can have a profound impact on the public image and internal dynamics of royal families. Upon marrying the heir to the throne, Maria-Teresa faced rejection from her mother-in-law, the former Grand Duchess Josephine Charlotte. This conflict, based on differences in background and possibly class prejudice, plagued Maria-Teresa's life for many years. The situation escalated to the point where Maria-Teresa felt the need to publicly expose her mother-in-law, resulting in the first major royal scandal in Luxembourg's history. While this revelation was dramatic, it can be seen as an attempt by the Duchess to protect herself and her reputation in the public eye. This story highlights that even in the highest echelons of society, family conflicts can be destructive and complicated. It also reminds us of the importance of mutual respect and understanding in family relationships, regardless of social status or background. Despite all the difficulties, Maria-Teresa managed to maintain her marriage and continue her role in the royal family, although not without indelible marks from the past. The conflict between Maria-Teresa and Josephine Charlotte had a significant impact on the public image of the Luxembourg royal family. Prior to the emergence of this conflict, the royal family had been perceived as a symbol of unity, tradition, and stability. However, the strained relationship between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law shattered this image and exposed the internal dynamics and personal conflicts within the family. The revelations made by Maria-Teresa during the infamous journalistic dinner, where she publicly exposed the mistreatment she had endured from Josephine Charlotte, created shockwaves in the media and among the public. The details of the conflict became widely known, tarnishing the reputation of the royal family and exposing their private struggles to public scrutiny. The scandalous nature of the revelations captured the attention of not only the Luxembourgish population but also international audiences, as the Luxembourg royal family's affairs were thrust into the spotlight. One aspect that impacted the public image was the perception of Josephine Charlotte as a cold and class-conscious individual who mistreated her daughter-in-law. The portrayal of her behavior as consistently humiliating and attempts to sabotage Maria-Teresa's marriage were shocking and undermined the idea of a harmonious and supportive royal family. The public's perception of Josephine Charlotte shifted from a respected figure to someone perceived as antagonistic and detrimental to the happiness of the couple. Additionally, the conflict highlighted the contrasting backgrounds of Maria-Teresa and Josephine Charlotte. Maria-Teresa, a wealthy Cuban with no royal lineage, faced prejudice and criticism from her mother-in-law due to her non-royal background. This aspect of the conflict brought issues of class and social acceptance to the forefront, challenging the traditional notions of royal marriages and the expectations placed on individuals who marry into royal families. The public's reaction to this aspect of the conflict varied, with some sympathizing with Maria-Teresa's struggle against elitism, while others questioned her suitability for the royal role. The media coverage surrounding the conflict between Maria-Teresa and Josephine Charlotte further fueled public interest and scrutiny. The scandalous revelations became headline news, captivating the public's attention and generating discussions about the dynamics and dysfunction within the royal family. The Luxembourg royal family, once seen as a symbol of stability, found themselves at the center of a public spectacle, with their personal conflicts overshadowing their official duties and responsibilities. Furthermore, the impact of the conflict extended beyond the immediate individuals involved. It cast a shadow over the entire royal family and raised questions about their ability to maintain unity and represent the nation effectively. The public began to view the Luxembourg royal family as flawed and divided, rather than a cohesive and unified institution. In the aftermath of the conflict, the royal family faced the challenge of rebuilding their public image and regaining the trust and respect of the people. The revelations made during the conflict served as a reminder that even in the highest echelons of society, family conflicts can be destructive and complicated. The importance of mutual respect, understanding, and support within family relationships, regardless of social status or background, became evident. Over time, the royal family has taken steps to repair their public image, focusing on their official duties, engagements, and charitable work. The subsequent generations have worked towards presenting a united front and projecting a sense of stability and harmony. The conflict between Maria-Teresa and Josephine Charlotte had implications for the public's perception of the royal family's ability to govern effectively. While the Luxembourg royal family does not possess executive powers or play a direct role in governance, they do have symbolic and representational duties. The conflict and its aftermath raised questions about the family's ability to fulfill these roles and carry out their responsibilities. The revelations made during the conflict exposed internal divisions and personal struggles within the royal family. The public became aware of the strained relationship between the future Grand Duchess and her mother-in-law, and how this conflict had affected their interactions and dynamics. This public display of discord within the royal family's inner circle raised concerns about their ability to maintain unity and work cohesively as a team. The conflict also cast a shadow over the family's ability to project an image of stability and reliability. The public expects the royal family to embody certain values and serve as a unifying force within society. The exposure of personal conflicts and mistreatment within the family challenged these expectations and raised doubts about their ability to carry out their representational duties effectively. Furthermore, the conflict highlighted the impact of personal dynamics on the functioning of the royal family. The public began to question whether the internal divisions and tensions could spill over into their public roles and impair their effectiveness. The perception that the royal family was embroiled in personal conflicts and lacked unity could undermine public confidence in their ability to represent the nation and fulfill their ceremonial and diplomatic duties. The media coverage surrounding the conflict added another layer of complexity to the public's perception of the royal family's governance abilities. The scandalous nature of the revelations and the public spectacle that ensued raised concerns about the family's judgment, discretion, and ability to handle internal conflicts discreetly. The public's trust in the royal family's ability to navigate complex situations and make sound decisions may have been eroded to some extent. It is important to note that the impact on the perception of the royal family's governance abilities may have varied among different segments of the population. Some individuals may have been more forgiving and separated personal conflicts from the family's official duties, recognizing that personal relationships can be complicated. Others, however, may have been more critical and held higher expectations for the royal family's ability to maintain a harmonious and functional unit. In response to the conflict, the royal family likely faced the challenge of rebuilding trust and demonstrating their commitment to their roles and responsibilities. This would have involved emphasizing their official engagements, charitable work, and commitment to representing the nation effectively. Over time, the subsequent generations within the royal family have worked to present a united front and project an image of stability and reliability. In conclusion, the conflict between Maria-Teresa and Josephine Charlotte had an impact on the public's perception of the royal family's ability to govern effectively, as it raised questions about their unity, judgment, and capacity to fulfill their representational duties. The exposure of personal conflicts and divisions within the family challenged the image of stability and reliability that the public expects from their royal family. Rebuilding public confidence and trust would have required a concerted effort to address these concerns and demonstrate a commitment to their roles and responsibilities.